2, 1. Hello, folks. Welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Arduna, and this is my mom, Gina.
He's the journalist.
And she's the enthusiast.
She is enthusiastic today, for 2 reasons. 1, we're doing Facebook Live, and 2, we're talking about college football.
Yes, and it is very cold out here today. If you have not noticed, we're in sweatshirts, and we're also very much in tune with the weather because it's winter season.
Winter, yes, it is.
The last day of November, and so we're going to be now out in the elements, whereas in the summertime
we're out here sweating to death
really
in the
hot,
summertime.
And now it's going to be really cold and windy, and you'll probably see some snow. So we are broadcasting on Facebook Live, and we really just want to try this out and get more people involved in the show. And so,
but watch
please,
the YouTube channel if you want to see more On the Deck.
Watch the YouTube channel. Yes, look my name up, Adam Arduna, and look up OTD on YouTube. And follow us on Twitter as well, and continue to stay tuned for Facebook Live.
I think we're doing it once a week.
We're going to be doing
Live.
Weekly Facebook Live, probably earlier in the week, probably on Tuesdays. So be looking for that. But
let's get to college football.
We're
Enough Facebook Live.
Here.
Let's do this.
We're going to talk about college football. The new rankings just came out. We just wrapped up Week 12, and there's a brand new top 4 and a brand new top 10 as well. And so we're going to talk about some of the issues that people are upset about and some of the things that maybe can be improved upon, and our own personal opinions on maybe who should be in and who should be out.
Well, and more importantly, we know how to fix it.
All right. Well,
correct.
Yes, I have my own thoughts.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to the 5 through 8 range, basically, and some of the other teams that aren't in. But let's go ahead and start with you.
All right.
What do you initially think with this top 4 this week?
Well, the top 4 obviously are number 1 Alabama at 12-0, Ohio State at 11-1.
Yes.
You've got Clemson sitting at number 3, also 11-1, and then University of Washington UW sitting at 11-1 at number 4.
Holding down the Pac-12.
What I think is important is 5 through 10 as well, because now you have Michigan, 2-loss Michigan sitting at 5, and you've got Wisconsin sitting at 6, Penn State at 7.
Yes.
Penn State, who, by the way, that one loss of Ohio State was to Penn State. Then you got Colorado out of the Pac-12 sitting at 8. Then you drop Oklahoma from 8 to 9, and then Oklahoma State is number 10. So that rounds out our top 10.
Yes.
My issue with this is that you have too few teams who you are putting forward to represent their schools or this country as the national champion.
Right.
When you have, this is 2 out of 3 years we've had this issue, because if you guys remember a couple of years ago, you had Baylor and TCU sitting on the outside.
Correct.
Well, right now you got 3 Big Ten teams sitting on the outside, plus the potential Big 12 champion sitting outside. So how would you fix it?
So you're saying you would like to expand the
100%.
number of teams in the playoff. I agree with that.
100%.
I think we've reached the point now where we know the playoff system works, especially for the FBS schools. It works everywhere else in the NFL, FCS,
everywhere.
Division II, high school,
NAIA,
junior college, every level of sports basically has a tournament.
The JC's program, the little kids program around here has playoffs.
The Pee Wee, Pop Warner leagues all have tournament style of play.
Correct.
There's no excuses. We're holding on to old mentalities and ideas when it comes to college football. And so we have now seen that the playoff system works. We need to expand it to what you're saying. And yeah, I think we can do 8 teams. I think we can even do 10 teams. You don't have to have 1,000,000 rounds. We've talked about this. We've discussed this.
Well, give the people what we talked about.
Well, there's so many bowl games nowadays.
Right. 40-plus bowl games.
Is just ridiculous.
5-win teams getting bowl invites.
It waters down the postseason.
It does.
And so it doesn't hold the same value as it would if you were 8 and whatever, and you've made your cut when it comes to the number of wins you have to have. So there's too many bowl games. But with that, if you're going to have those many bowl games, let's put those to use. Let's start making those maybe early round tournament games. You can win the trophy and still get a ring. You get to travel to the city that the bowl game is hosted in, and if you win the Music City Bowl in Detroit or wherever. Or Motor City Bowl in Detroit.
The Motor City Bowl, yes.
Music City's in Nashville.
You got the Emerald Nut Bowl.
Emerald Nut Bowl, exactly.
You've got other bowls
that you can utilize, plus the teams that still are 7 and 5 or you still have those games as well. But And it doesn't have to be those bowls, but you can utilize those as part of the playoff system.
Well, and here's your point. Then, all of a sudden, teams that have 5 wins don't get invited to a bowl anymore.
Exactly.
Those bowls are now going to be a part of the playoff system. And you don't get, and maybe it's like you said, it's not those bowls, everything kind of, rolls down or what have you. But now you don't have so many bowls that you're willing to take 5 wins. See, you got teams with 5 wins. They go in, let's say they win the bowl, they still have a losing record.
Exactly.
We can eliminate some of that by utilizing the bowl system better to expand the playoff system.
Correct. And now what you do have for, like you said, basically the second year in a row or third year in a row, you have a huge log jam, a big pileup at the top.
Yes.
There are teams right now. There's no reason why Penn State shouldn't have a legitimate shot. Now, they are playing in their conference championship game as of right now.
Right.
But there's no excuse for them to still not have an opportunity to be in the playoffs. And I just don't get why you got all these teams on the outside looking in. You have all these smart individuals within this committee. How is there no way that they don't have this figured out or set up? Well, it doesn't make any sense.
We went away from just the BCS bowl selection. We went away from, which was this computer system and all that. And we wanted to put people in there. And you've got a broad spectrum. You got Condoleezza Rice, who I love and respect, all of that. And then you've got coaches and ADs and presidents. But the problem is, once you add the human element, what you have to do is then broaden the base.
Right.
Because you are going to have human prejudice. If you looked at their top 25, which really doesn't matter because after number 10, you're in trouble.
Yes.
They don't even have Nebraska in the top 25, which is something we argued about.
Exactly.
So as you've obviously got human error, human prejudice, human favoritism, influence in there. And then in order to compensate for that is you expand it. And I feel like you could expand it to 8 teams. And quite frankly, you could expand it to the top 10.
Well,
and you want to talk about that?
I was just going to say, I think and the rule would apply more if certain teams weren't in the positions that they are. I think if Alabama and Ohio State are sitting at 7, 8, 6, or 9, or whatever, floating around that 5, 6
Alabama,
range.
Let's say it's the Alabama year where they lose to Ole Miss and,
exactly. Mississippi State with Dak Prescott or
all of a sudden you got a
Manziel
2-loss Alabama, but they're still, they're clicking at the end.
I mean, what we would be hearing from everywhere, how we got to expand it, this is not right, they're still one of the best
teams.
And
you know why you're right? Because USC with 3 losses is playing so good now. I am so tired of hearing USC is the best 3-loss team. You're sitting at number 11. You know what I mean? If USC was a 2-loss team, they'd be in the top 10 bumping somebody out, probably one of the Big 12 teams.
Sure, and it's just, it doesn't make, like I said, it doesn't make sense. And I love the fact that the Big 10 has all these teams right now.
They are good.
But they all deserve an opportunity. Well, let's go ahead before we lose too much time here. Let's talk about with expanding it to 10. Let's say if we expand it to 10.
Okay.
What about leaving one of those open spots, 9 or 10, for a non-power conference, Power 5 or Group of 5 conference? What if it's one of the teams from the MAC or Mountain West or the Sun Belt, etc.? One of those teams. We've got Western Michigan right now, who's undefeated. They're playing really good football right now. They also deserve an opportunity, just like in any other tournament style of play, to potentially win the national championship. In basketball, Butler has an opportunity to take on Duke or North Carolina or KU
and prove
when it comes to playing in a championship, because it's a tournament. I think there's something that should be said for at least maybe reserving one of those spots for one of those non-Power 5 conferences.
Well, I think you're 100% right, and this is where I'm going to be a hypocrite, because that's one of the things I complained about with the NCAA March Madness. Is St. Mary the Poor comes in, has their best game ever, and knocks out a Kentucky, and then, they get beaten out. So, okay, but basketball and football are 2 different sports.
They are.
And what I'm saying is when you have a Group of 5 champion who is 12-0, like you currently have with Western Michigan, or like Temple was making a run at it last year, you should, if you expand it to 10, then you can make that 10th spot a guarantee for one of the non-power groups, and only if they're undefeated. And I mean, which is really a tough road for them anyway. It's like the only way you can get in is if you're undefeated. As it is, they're talking about using one of the New Year's Six bowls for them. Well, they should be in the conversation.
I think they at least deserve an opportunity to say, hey, we've done everything we're supposed to do. It's not our fault that we're in this conference, etc. But I think it's something to be brought up.
Well, and real quick, so I know we're running out of time, but if you did a 10 game, then you could have this number 1 and number 2 seed have a bye out of that first round of bowl game tournament.
10-team tournament.
Yes, a 10-team tournament. Then you got three. You got three playing 10, 4 playing 9, and you do that way. Or if you just want to go to 8, then you have the number 1 seed playing the number 8 seed. And right now that'd be Alabama playing Colorado. And then you work your way in, and then they prove it on the field, and you can get rid of all of us talking heads complaining about what they've done.
I mean, I just think there's a lot of solutions that can be put in place to make this go a little bit smoother.
Right, but 4 teams is not the answer.
4 teams is not enough.
One semifinal game, that's not enough.
We got to have more there, and we know that there's more coming, and so we're excited. This is a conference championship weekend, and so there's a lot of big games going on. The Heisman race is still up for grabs after Lamar Jackson kind of had a stumble there, and so we're really excited to continue to see what happens here in college football. Again, we will be on Facebook Live here weekly.
Once a week.
And so we want you guys to continue to stay tuned with us. We appreciate you tuning in and watching us on Facebook Live, and continue to join us on YouTube as well. Appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, folks. All right. Yes.
All right. Well, we